Boring. Hello, YouTube. I'm reporting live from my virtual interview station. So, right behind me is my makeshift green screen because we are using Zoom for most of our interviews, and I wanted to have a nice, clean background for my Zoom interviews without using like a plain wall and just have it more vibrant looking because there's like a big bookshelf behind me. So, my mom gave me these curtains. So I like doubled up on them. And there's also for the culture this African print. Hold up. Can you see it? Yeah. You see that? This African print uh, material from one of my mom's African uh, garments. So anyway, that is my green screen. And then I have a couple contraptions that I'm going to show you here. So today is actually my fourth interview and my third interview of the week. I had my first ever interview last week, which went pretty well. I've been getting way more interview invites than I would have expected in so little time. So, what I will say is that I'm in the double digits, and I did over apply because this application cycle is pretty uncertain, and I know there a lot of programs are extending more invites than they usually have, and they're also receiving way more invites than they usually have had in the past because we haven't had a chance to actually do away rotations at a lot of hospitals and have them meet us in person. So just to be safe than sorry, I like over applied, but definitely hearing from a lot of programs that I'm like, wow, top programs. And that's definitely a blessing. So I'm very humbled and grateful that my interview season is going really well. And I'm excited to, hear back from more places and just get really, prepared for the match. So far, so good. Most of my interviews have gone well. A lot of my interviewers have actually commented on my interviewing skills and told me I either aced the interview or I'm a really great speaker. I did well in the interview. Like they've actually like verbally said that. So that is, uh, you know, I definitely like did a lot of prep beforehand. I found 110 questions, I believe, from BMO Consulting, which are free on their website. And I answered the most frequently asked questions, and I prepared some of my behavioral questions as well. I wrote them out and I would read them, record it myself. I listened to them a few times. And I also did some mock interviews with my friends and got some feedback from them. But definitely, public speaking has helped me. Also, having a YouTube channel because I'm more wary of when I say or what I do when I'm speaking. So I know when I first started my YouTube, I was saying a whole lot of ums, and I've watched like great public speakers like Obama, and I see how he speaks, and he does say sometimes, but it's not every single sentence, and he also takes certain pauses when he's speaking, and that's basically what I've learned, and I've incorporated that into my public speaking, etc. And yeah, so wish me luck. Say some prayers for your girl. And yeah, so I'll let you know how this interview goes, and I'm gonna show you my little setup now. Have my notepad and my pen, and I'll use that to take notes in between because when we're talking to the residents and just making notes about the program. And I've been creating an Excel spreadsheet to keep track of the pros and cons of each hospital as well as the interview vibe, because that's really important. A lot of people say like go with your gut feeling and this and that, whatever. So that's basically what I'm doing. Yeah, so I'll show you some of my Zoom backgrounds that I've been doing. They're actually pretty nice, and I've been getting some compliments like, "Oh my gosh, your home decor is so nice." I'm like, "Thank you." Some of them I'm like, "Oh, this is a virtual background," because they're just like, "Oh, it's really sunny there," and I'm like, okay." Yeah, okay. So my interview is about to start in like 10 minutes, so let me get to this, and I'll let you know about it after it's done. Bye bye. Okay, so I'm taking a little break from my interview. We have like an hour break for lunchtime, so I'm gonna go downstairs and get something to eat. And yeah, so far so good. I'm learning a whole bunch about this program, their initiatives for public health, which are really important, and their links to Ivy League associations for research and other clinical endeavors, which is very nice. And yeah, I'm just like very, very proud. And I want everyone, honestly, on this interview trail to know that you are the prize. As much as you want to match to these places, remember the value that you bring to each and every hospital program. And some of my interviews have honestly told me, like, we would love to have you here to bring XYZ that you did on your CV to our institution. And maybe they won't say that to you, but obviously, if they're extending an interview invite, they love what's on your CV. You've obviously shown and proven your academic excellence, your research excellence, and just your general, volunteer excellence and commitment to patient care. So be proud of these interviews. Like I will say, there's programs receiving 4,000, 6,000 interviews, and they're only, sorry, 4 to 6,000 applications, and they're only interviewing up to like 400 people or maybe 200 people. So that's less than 5% of people. So consider yourself very blessed, very fortunate, lucky if you want to say, but it's all blessings, honestly. And so just remember, like, as much as you want to be there and as much as you want them to choose you, remember the value that you bring. And I'm definitely doing that on each interview and just providing value, selling myself essentially in a good way. And yeah, just, keep the faith, be confident, and the rest will follow. So I'll see you guys after my interview is done. I'm going to get some lunch. And yeah. So my interview is over. As you can see, I changed out of my professional clothes. And yeah, feeling good. I have a couple lined up for the rest of November. A lot of my interviews are really about if you fit in. And by that, they mean, will you be a great fit for our residents? Do you want to come here? They ask a lot of questions about that. Why do you want to come here? Do you see yourself living here? Like, what is your plan for the next, 5 or 10 years? How do you see your life? Also, they ask a lot about your specific interests. Do you have research interests? Do you want to specialize? They ask, um, for me, they ask a lot about my extracurriculars. I have a lot of extracurriculars, and they want to know more about that and what I've learned from that and how that relates to me being a doctor. And I think a lot of my interviews have really just been really impressed by the amount of activities I've been involved in. So if you are in medical school, it's very important. Everything that you do, make sure you write it down. Don't forget it. Nothing is too big or too small to put on your CV, because honestly, I feel like a lot of my volunteer work and diversity inclusion work is really what's getting me into a lot of these doors, and it's providing a value that a lot of these residencies are seeing for them. So definitely don't underestimate any volunteer work that you're doing. Um, Also know your CV cold, because they're gonna ask you things that you put there. If you did it in undergrad and you kind of forgot, or if it was something that you weren't really passionate about, you better remember and make it look like you remember what they're talking about or that you're passionate about it. So don't put anything there that you cannot speak enthusiastically about, and that's a big thing. Some other questions from interviews that I can remember: they asked me to teach them something non-medical in 30 seconds. They've also asked uh, some ethics questions about telling patients about doctors' mistakes and stuff like that. They've asked, tell me about yourself. What are your weaknesses? Tell me about a time you were criticized by a preceptor or doctor. Tell me about a time where you were a leader and give me examples and stuff like that. So that's basically a lot of what the interview people want to know. They also want to see how enthusiastic you are about your fields. Like, why do you want to go into specialty? Um, what makes you happy? What makes you sad? What makes you angry? When was the last time you had to solve a problem, what did you do, and stuff like that. But honestly, I haven't been getting a lot of those like behavioral questions. I've honestly just been getting a lot of tell me about yourself, why do you want to come here? And they just want to see that you're like a normal person and that you can have a conversation without, looking or feeling super nervous or just getting, out of character or whatever it is. So relax, and good luck to everyone during this residency season. Good luck to everyone interviewing for medical school also, because I know that's also virtual. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to message me, leave a comment, and make sure you like, subscribe this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.